Welcome to this end of this year's and beginning of next year's video, and not coffee time but mulled wine time, and it's a time to look back and reflect on the previous year, and for me anyway, to try and look at that and plan for the next. So what I'm hoping to do this particular video is to look at my highlights anyway, month by month of my first year on YouTube, and so that you can see what I've really enjoyed, and then hopefully for me to then build on a plan for next year. So hope you enjoy. January's initial plan was to look for some seeker deer or locations for the seeker deer, which I did with a reasonable amount of success. But the highlight, I think, for January was capturing these fallow deer in this particular light. It was a bit of a misty morning, and you've got the sun coming through and just catching their breaths on this cold winter's morning. Something that I'll be filming again is the RSPB Big Garden Bird Watch, which myself and the family really do enjoy looking out our window and monitoring all the birds that come in. February again was for me going out trying to find some venues for hares, which I did to a reasonable success at Farley Mount. I found really quite difficult to film, so one of my goals next year is to see if I can get some better footage of these lovely hares. I've been following the roe deer throughout the year for several years, but March, I don't know, I just liked this particular sets of footage because the way in which some glorious light in the morning, and the way in which there were quite a few out on the field this morning, and to see them at the point where the bucks are just starting to lose the velvet is an exciting stage. In April, I started to look more on the birds at the Vales, and on the way there I got a message that there was a peregrine falcon on a church in Woodley, so took a look at that, and what a fabulous beast. Mitchell Devil Woods for the bluebells is always a marvellous sight and a real regular visit for us. And another discovery for us this year was finding these skylarks in our local common. June was spent trying to capture some more flowers, and on one of my numerous returns to the roe deer, I had this visitor fallow deer buck in the velvet, which looked like some strange hat he had on his head, and I was, if you watch the video, I got really quite excited about this. Very rarely see anything other than roe deer. Roe deer, muntjac are regular visitors here, but I don't know, I just love this place. It's very peaceful, but it does throw up some interesting novelties for us really, and this and later in the year a white leucistic fallow as well, so yeah, I'm really pleased. July was a bit of a discovery, really, and to find a couple of venues right on your doorstep, Hackwood Park being one, and my local ponds, where we discovered that we had resident kingfishers upon it, was just a marvel, really. The kingfishers, they took a bit of time before we finally got some photographs and footage, but once we got them, they were just brilliant. August with the barn owls. I think part of my reflection is maybe to come to this venue just a little bit earlier. It was quite good because the chicks, the babies, were quite large, very demanding. You can hear at the end of this clip that they were really shouting for food. But I think yeah, a little trip earlier on will be ideal next year. September and on into October vested a lot of time with the Reds, and so really successful. Managed to capture a couple of fights and some lovely behaviour, and this guy was the centre really of all of the videos. He certainly is a magnificent beast. Denise agreed with me that this was by far the best experience, I think, overall of the entire year, because it was such an attack on the senses. I remember saying at the time it was a real cacophony of sound, and to be able to observe this was just, we felt really privileged. Seeing this monkjack buck was a complete contrast to the experience we had with the Faladeer. It was very, he came very close, and it was a real intimate, close encounter, which was, well, must have lasted at least sort of 15 minutes. And to come so close that I could get some really good observation of him was, again, just a real big highlight. The final highlight of the year was seeing these lovely bittern on a frozen lake by this reed bed, and also some snipe earlier in the month, and on some water rail as well. So yes, ending the year on a real high. For all the people that have supported me over the last year, thank you very, very much. One of my top supporters was my father. Unfortunately, He's lost his battle with long-term illness and passed away just before Christmas. He was been a real driving force for me for the channel over the year, because as he was more housebound, he couldn't go out, and he just loved the outside. So when I visited him, I would show him the videos and he would really enjoy them. So he's probably up in heaven now, casting a line. So tight lines, Dad, and thank you for all the memories.